Okay, so today let's take a look at one of the basic tenses in the English language. That is the present perfect. Let's take a look at an example. Mrs. Christiansen has lived with dogs for 34 years. So here we have got a verb form, has lived, and that is the present perfect. Pause the video and think about the meaning of the sentence. So, if you look at the verb, let's talk about the form. The first part is have or has. Here it is has, because you could also say she. If you say he, she, or it, remember, you say has. With all the other persons, I, you, we, they, we use have. The second part is what I call the third verb form. This is also called the past participle. It looks like the simple past because we take the verb and we put an ed on it, but it can also be different from the simple past because there are also some irregular verbs and they have a different third verb form, so you just need to learn those. Now, let's take a look at the meaning of the sentence. We use the present perfect to talk about something that started in the past and it is still running now. So the situation with the dogs started in the year 1981 when I was a little child. I got my first dog. And now we are in the year 2015 and I have still got dogs. So the situation is still running now, and that is why we use the present perfect. I have lived with dogs for 34 years. But there is a second meaning too. Again, we will look at an example. Oh no! Mrs. Christiansen's dog has broken a vase. Again, think about the meaning. So here we use the present perfect to talk about something that happened in the past, but it still has an effect now. We will look at a timeline. In this example, maybe my dog broke the vase at 11 o'clock in the morning, and now it is 2 o'clock, so it is later, but the vase is still broken. So this is the effect now. And there is a third meaning of the present perfect. And so there is one more example. Mrs. Christiansen has bought a bone for her dog on the internet. It has just arrived. We will take a look at the last sentence. It has just arrived. And this is the third meaning of the present perfect. We use it to talk about something that just happened a short time ago. So, maybe the bone arrived in mail at 4 o'clock and now it is 5 minutes past 4. So, the bone arrived a short time ago. And then we can also use the present perfect. The bone has just arrived. We will repeat all 3 meanings. Number 1. We use the present perfect to talk about something that started in the past and it is still running now. This was the sentence about my dogs. Number 2. We use the present perfect to talk about something that happened in the past, but it still has an effect now. Think about the broken vase. Number 3. We use the present perfect to talk about something that just happened a short time ago. And this was the sentence with the bone in the mail. Now, to help you find out when to use the present perfect in a sentence, there are some signal words. So if you find one of these words in a sentence, you can be sure that you need the present perfect. The first signal word is since. For example, Mrs. Christiansen has lived with dogs since 1981. We use the word since to talk about a point in time. Here, the year 1981. Now, be careful. There is another word that has a similar German meaning. For. Mrs. Christiansen has lived with dogs for 34 years. Here, we do not talk about a point in time when it started. We talk about the number of years. Then there is already. I've already done my homework. The next signal word is yet. I haven't done my homework yet. We always use yet at the end of a sentence, and we only use it in questions and in negative sentences. Ever. Have you ever been to London? And the negative part is never. I have never been to London. We already talked about the last word, just. I've just completed the present perfect video. This means it happened a short time ago, and that is true because this is the end of the present perfect video.